Welcome to this comprehensive deep dive into programming fundamentals, which are absolutely essential for any aspiring developer looking to build a strong foundation. Understanding variables and constants is absolutely crucial for writing efficient, maintainable, and error-free code in any programming language. Throughout this session, we'll thoroughly cover declaration, initialization, best practice naming rules, variable scope, and the critical differences between const and read-only keywords. Let's begin our journey with variable declaration, which is the fundamental process of informing the computer that you intend to use a specific piece of data within your program. Essentially, declaration reserves a specific block of memory space for a variable, preparing it for use, but it does not yet assign any initial value to that memory location. In C#, the syntax is straightforward. You specify the data type first, followed by your chosen variable name, and always remember to end the statement with a semicolon. For a clear example, writing at count declares an integer variable specifically named count, indicating it will hold whole numbers. Next, we move to initialization, which is the vital process of assigning an initial, starting value to a variable that has already been declared. For improved conciseness and clarity, you can efficiently declare and initialize a variable all on the very same line of code. This combined approach is often highly preferred by developers as it consistently ensures your variable always begins with a clearly defined and predictable state. Failing to properly initialize variables can unfortunately lead to unexpected program behavior or critical runtime errors, especially in strongly typed languages like C#, where local variables must be explicitly assigned a value before they can be used. Therefore, it's a best practice to always initialize variables to avoid potential bugs, enhance code predictability, and significantly improve overall code reliability. Now let's explore essential naming rules, which are established conventions and guidelines for how you effectively name your variables, methods, and classes within your code. Adhering to good naming practices significantly enhances code readability, making it easier for others and your future self to understand and maintain. In C#, the camel case convention is typically and widely used for naming local variables and method parameters, promoting consistency. This specific style starts with an initial lowercase letter and then capitalizes the first letter of every subsequent word in the name, like first name. Conversely, Pascal case is the standard convention used for class names, method names, and public properties in C#. In Pascal case, the first letter of every single word in the name is capitalized, such as customer order. Always prioritize using descriptive and meaningful names that clearly indicate the variable's exact purpose and content, improving clarity. Next, let's delve into the crucial concept of scope, which precisely defines where a variable can be accessed, modified, and used within different parts of your program. A solid understanding of scope is vital as it prevents naming conflicts between variables and significantly helps manage memory resources efficiently. Local variables are specifically declared inside a method, a loop, or any defined code block, and they are strictly only accessible within the boundaries of that specific block where they were created. Once the code block finishes its execution and its purpose is served, these local variables are typically destroyed, and their allocated memory is released. Global variables, often referred to as fields or members in C#, are declared outside of any specific method, typically residing directly within a class definition. These variables can be accessed from virtually anywhere within their containing class, and sometimes even from other classes, depending on the specific access modifiers applied to them. Finally, let's clearly differentiate between two important keywords, const and read-only, both used for defining constants in C#. The const keyword is specifically used for compile-time constants, meaning their value must be definitively known and fixed at the exact moment the code is compiled into an executable. Crucially, these const values are absolutely fixed and cannot be altered or changed at any point after the compilation process is complete. In contrast, read-only is employed for runtime constants, where the value can be assigned dynamically at runtime, most commonly within the constructor of a class instance. However, once a read-only field has been assigned its value, it then becomes immutable and cannot be changed thereafter. Therefore, use const for truly unchanging, universal values like mathematical constants, such as pi, and read-only for values that are set only once during object creation or initialization. It's important to remember that const fields are implicitly static by nature, meaning they belong to the class itself, while read-only fields can be either instance-specific or static. In summary, we've thoroughly covered the fundamental concepts of variable declaration, which reserves memory, and initialization, which assigns an initial value. We also explored the critical importance of clear and consistent naming rules, such as camel case and Pascal case, which are essential for writing highly readable and maintainable code. Furthermore, we delved into the concept of variable scope, clearly distinguishing between local variables with limited accessibility and global variables with broader reach. Finally, we clarified the distinct and specific uses of const for compile-time constants and read-only for runtime constants, understanding their immutability. Mastering these core programming concepts will undoubtedly build a very strong and robust foundation for your entire programming journey, enabling you to write better code. Keep practicing these fundamental skills, continue exploring, and most importantly, happy coding on your exciting development path.